Hi, hello everyone. Welcome to Fun Food and Travel. Hello friends, today let's know the complete introduction about Sri Guru Charitra and miraculous deeds associated with two gurus, Sri Pada Sri Vallabha and Sri Narsimha Saraswati Swamiji. Sri Guru Charitra is a religious book giving a brief life story of Sri Narsimha Saraswati Swami. So please watch the video till end and subscribe to my channel for more interesting coming up videos. Saraswati Swami's house where he was born is located in Karanja. Although the house is no longer in the original shape, some parts remain and have been converted into a temple. In the 18th chapter of Sri Guru Charitra, where Sri Guru goes into the house of a poor Brahmin with compassionate decision to take away their poverty, he uproots a beanstalk that the family depends upon for their food, and the Brahmin discovered a pot of gold on the spot. Now we can see a temple at that place, and the descendants of that family still live there. The Sri Guru Charitra is the life of Sri Guru Dattatreya, an incarnation of Brahma, Vishnu and Maheshwara. It was originally written in OV form in Marathi by Sri Saraswati Gangadhar, whose ancestor Swayamdev had personally lived and served with devotion Guru Narsimha Saraswati, an incarnation of Sri Dattatreya about 600 years ago. The book is written as a conversation between Siddha, who is a disciple of Sri Narsimha Saraswati, and Namdharak, who is listening to Siddha. The book is divided into three parts: Dhyankand, that is knowledge, chapters 1 to 24, Karmakand, that is work, 25 to 37, and Bhakti Kand, that is devotion, from chapters 38 to 51. It has 52 chapters, in which the 53rd chapter is also called a Guru Charitra Avatarnika, which is a summary of the book. Let's see the content in Sri Guru Charitra with pictures which are taken from Sri Datt Amareshwar Mandir near Narsoba Wadi. Chapter 1 describes the various deities and prayers to call them. Chapter 2 explains how the universe was born and how the four eras with their specific trends were created. Chapter 3 describes the story of Ambarisa and Durvas and how the god Vishnu in 10 avatars descended. Chapter 4 contains the famous story of the seer Atri and how his wife Anasuya received their son Dattatreya. Chapter 5 tells the story of the first incarnation of Dattatreya, Sri Pada Sri Vallabha in Pitapuram. Chapter 6 describes the birth of Gokarna Mahabaleshwar with the story of Ravana, Ganesha and Shivalingam. Chapter 7, the sacred Gautama, describes the importance of Pitapuram. In chapter 8, Sri Pada Sri Vallabha saves the mother and child who tried to kill themselves and asks the mother to keep the Shani Pradosh worship. In chapter 9, Sri Vallabha blesses a washerman that he will be the king in the next life and finally ends his incarnation. Chapter 10, the Brahmin Vallabhesh is killed by robbers and then brought to life by Sri Vallabha. From chapter 11 and further, the life story of Sri Narsimha Saraswati is told. He was born in Karanja in Maharashtra by Madhav and Amba. Chapter 12. He leaves home and goes on a pilgrimage to Kashi Varanasi, where he accepted sannyas diksha from Sri Krishna Saraswati, who had realized Brahma, and from whom he derives the second part of his name, that is Narhari becomes Sri Narsimha Saraswati. Chapter 13. He comes back to Karanja and cures one Brahmin. Chapter 14. Muslim king who is very cruel invites and kills Brahmin every year saw a dream that a Brahmin was beating him and favors Swayamdev by offering him cloths and ornaments. Chapter 15. He asks his students to go on pilgrimage and stay themselves near Parali in Maharashtra. Chapter 16. He travels to the current Bhilavadi and teaches a Brahmin the greatness of Guru. That is, Guru's life is like Kamadhenu. By pleasing the Guru by service and respecting him, one can know Vedas, Shastras and 8 Siddhis. Chapter 17. An illiterate Brahmin with his blessing becomes wise and knowing. Chapter 18. Sri Guru goes into the house of a poor Brahmin and after taking alms, blesses him, and while leaving the premises, Sri Guru cut the root of the seam creeper which was their means of livelihood. And later the Brahmin discovered a pot of gold on the spot. Chapter 19. A description of 64 yogini who pray to the Master and all be blessed. The Master leaves Audumbar and come to Ganagapur in Karnataka. Chapter 20. He frees a woman of spirit and blesses her, so she gets 2 sons. If one of them dies, he comforts her with his insights. Chapter 21. The woman brings the body of the dead child and Sri Guru awakens the child back to life and blesses with a long life. Chapter 22. Sri Guru makes an old barren buffalo to give milk. Chapter 23 tells how Brahma Raksha's sins were washed away and he gets liberation. Gramadipati builds a mutt for Sri Guru and worshipped him every day with devotion. Thus, Ganagapur became a Punya Kshetra, a holy place for pilgrimage. In chapter 24, Sri Guru meets Trivikram Bharati, who had studied 3 Vedas, was a devotee of Sri Narahari and criticized Sri Guru. Then Trivikram Bharati sees Vishwaroop of Sri Guru. Chapter 25. The 2 Brahmins knowing 3 Vedas came to Kumasi and invited Trivikram Bharati for discussions on all 4 Vedas and obtained victory certificates. Trivikram Bharati and 2 Brahmins came to Ganagapur and impudent Brahmins insisted to have a discussions with Sri Guru. Chapter 26. Sri Guru explains the structure of the Vedas and other issues like no one can know all the 4 Vedas fully. But the Brahmins could not appreciate Sri Guru's advice and insisted to either discuss or give certificates. In chapter 27, on crossing the 7 lines drawn by a disciple of Sri Guru, the Harijan becomes a Brahmin who knows Vedas, Shastras, Vyakaran. Sri Guru asks the Harijan to discuss the Vedas with the 2 Brahmins. The Brahmins give up and be condemned by the Sri Guru to be Brahma Rakshas for 12 years. In chapter 28, advice of Karma Vipak, that is sins and their results, are explained to the Harijan. In chapter 29, the greatness of the Bhasma, the sacred ashes or Vibhuti, is explained to the student Trivikram Bharati. In chapter 30, a woman who has lost her husband was comforted by Sri Guru and he explains her the transience of life form, that everyone who is born has to die one day or the other. In chapter 31, the code of female behavior is explained. The behavior of devoted wife is narrated by the sannyasi to the mourning woman. Chapter 32. The young woman started preparations for observing Sati, and seeing Sri Guru sitting below an Ashwatha tree, she bowed to him respectfully. Sri Guru blessed her and said, "You shall have Saubhagya forever." And eventually her husband is blessed and then brought to life by Sri Guru. In chapter 33, the importance of the worship of Rudraksh is explained. That is, if Rudraksh is worshipped, it is like worshipping Shivalinga, and this is explained on the basis of the famous story about the concubine. In chapter 34, the importance of the worship of Rudra Sukta is explained. King's son got long life by virtue of Rudra Jap. His death is averted. Such is the great power of Rudra Sukta. In chapter 35, the story of Kach Devyani and the power of Mrityunjaya mantra is explained. In chapter 36, Sri Guru tells the code of conduct of a Brahmin as narrated by Parashar to the rishis in the Naimisharanya. The path of Karma Yoga is explained to a Brahmin. Holy places on the palm, Achaman, washing of teeth and mouth, Bhasma or Vibhuti, Sandhya, recitation of Gayatri Mantra are explained in this chapter. In chapter 37, Sri Guru explains Dharma of a Brahmin. This is the story of Guru Charitra. Whoever listens to it will gain great knowledge. It is a source of light for the ignorant. From chapter 38, Bhakti Khand or devotion is explained. In chapter 38, with the blessing of the Sri Guru, Brahman Bhaskar feeds more than 4,000 people. This was a great miracle as the food sufficient only for 3 persons was provided to over 4,000 persons. Several such incidents have occurred in the life of Sri Guru. In chapter 39, 60-year-old infertile woman Brahmin was blessed with children. As advised by Sri Guru, the old woman completes her vrat and the worship of Ashwatha and was blessed with daughter and 10 years later with a son. In chapter 40, the story of Shabardut and his dedication to Shivalinga is told. The leprosy of the Brahmin is cured by Sri Guru and his body became healthy and bright. He composed 8 shlokas which are being chanted at Ganagapur in the night after Arati daily till now. Chapter 41. The 2 cobras sent by Sri Guru for the protection of Swayamdev when he was serving Sri Guru. Sri Guru explains Kashi Yatra in detail, and while hearing the same, Swayamdev could see and also visit the respective holy shrines, tanks and places with Sri Guru and thought as if they were in Kashi. In chapter 42, Sri Guru narrates the significance of Anant Vrat to Swayamdev and tells the story of Dharmaraj, the son of Pandu, who did the Anant Vrat. Chapter 43. Tantuk, a weaver who was one of Sri Guru's devotees, was taken to Sri Shailya Yatra on Mahashivaratri by Sri Guru within a movement from Ganagapur. Chapter 44. Nandi was a Brahmin suffering from leprosy. He worshipped Tuljapur Bhavani for 3 years. He observed fast. He stayed near Bhuvaneshwari at Bhilavadi for 7 months and worshipped the deity devotedly. He was told in a dream to go to Sri Guru at Ganagapur and that he would then be relieved of the disease. And after cured, he became a poet. In chapter 45, poet Narhari becomes a disciple of Sri Guru. Chapter 46. Sri Guru visits 8 places at one time. At the time of Diwali festival, 7 devotees of Sri Guru came to Ganagapur Mutt and requested Sri Guru to come to their places for Diwali. As Sri Guru loved all them alike, Sri Guru took 8 forms and went to 7 places of 7 devotees and also stayed at Ganagapur Mutt. Chapter 47. The poor farmer Parbati get the blessing of Sri Guru to have a huge yield, and Parbati had bumper crops even in scarcity. Chapter 48 tells about Amarja Sangam and the greatness of Ganagapur. Jalandhar Rakshas were on war, and from each drop of their blood new Rakshasa are born. Sri Shankar recited Amrita Mantra and gave a jar filled with nectar. Indra sprinkled the nectar on the gods and made them alive. Some drops fell on the earth and a river was created called Amarja. Bath in this river prevents diseases and untimely death. There are 8 holy places or tirthas near about. In chapter 49, the importance of the Guru Gita and the manner of recitation is explained. Chapter 50. A Muslim king visits Sri Guru and cured of a tumor in his leg. Chapter 51. Sri Guru decides to leave his body and go to Sri Shailam, and said to his disciples that, I shall stay here secretly. I shall have bath at the Amarja Sangam in the morning. In the midday I shall come to Ganagapur Mutt and accept Nirguna Puja and give darshan to the devotees. I shall always stay at Ganagapur. The Ashwata here are like Kalpataru. Saying this, Sri Guru started for Sri Shailam. Disciples get flower gifts. Chapter 52 contains a summary of the foregoing 51 chapters. If you like the video, please share, subscribe. Don't forget to click the bell icon. Thank you for watching.